Go.
Hello, sci-fi gangsters. This is the show where we talk about science fiction, comic books, video games, but really it's just an excuse for me to catch up with my friends, old and new. I'm Anthony Denar, media scholar and teacher. We got Jeremy Shepard, professional coder. We have AcidTrain, who is a video game Twitch streamer and bus driver. Really, the coolest bus driver I know.
Yeah.
And then our special
Should.
guest here today is Bloomer for the Win, also a Twitch streamer. His channel is Bloomer for the Win. Bloomer, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks. Thanks for having me on, Anthony and Acid, and of course Jeremy as well. Really appreciate, guys. Looking forward to kind of nerding out with you guys.
Excellent, fantastic. Now we're doing something different. The previous shows, every one of our guests was someone that I knew. This is brand new. You are someone that I do not have a history with.
Yes, this is true.
But I'm happy to have you on the show. Now, Bloomer, where are you broadcasting from?
Coming at you live from Canada, Ontario, Canada. So
Ontario, Canada.
yeah, a little bit.
So now we're
a little bit
international.
different.
Sci-fi Gangsters has gone.
We've made it around the world, guys.
You've made it big time when you've made it in Canada, right? That's what people say.
That's
No?
right.
Just no one. Okay.
It's technology.
Martin
right?
Short said that, I think, in like the Disney Canada ride. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, excellent. Well, Bloomer, if you're not familiar with the program, because we've done a lot of episodes so far. If you're not familiar
Tons,
with the
right?
program, what we usually do is we catch up, right? That's the first thing. When we catch up, we find out what's going on in each other's lives,
Cool.
right? Usually, AcidTrain talks about all the kids that he's driving around in his school bus. Apparently, there is a bus driver shortage going around. Is that true, Acid? That's what I've heard with my.
There is always a bus driver shortage. It's always. I would come drive a bus.
There you go.
The insurance is great and the pay is lousy. Come on, you've got
If
this.
you're looking for a job,
You want a job, right? That's a job. You get your medical
What we
bills
usually
taken
do
care of.
first- Right, so Bloomer, what we usually do first is we catch up, and then we get into our segment, which today we're talking about top 3 video games of our childhood.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know what everyone's definition of childhood is. I left it ambiguous for a reason, so if you want to say Call of Duty, then fine.
Please don't say Call
yeah,
of
your
Duty.
childhood. That is our segment for today, and then we always finish off with a trivia game. We do a little geek trivia game where I always lose. I always lose to.
This is true.
That's the way. That's what we usually do here.
I was warned that Jeremy is kind of a trivia guru here, so that this is going to be I probably have no chance come the trivia round, but I'll put my best foot forward.
I've lost twice, I'm pretty sure, haven't I?
You lost to Will when he was on, and then you also
Yeah.
lost to Philip, didn't you? You lost to Philip as well. Did you lose to Philip?
Yes.
I think so.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
All I know is I don't win. That's what I know. I don't win. I came close once, and I shat the bed. All right, so there you go. So our first segment is we're gonna catch up with everybody. First things first, I guess I'll go ahead and start. So one thing that I started watching Star Trek Discovery. I was holding off on it because, as Jeremy, we're both big Star Trek fans. So I wanted to stay away from it. I saw the first season a while back ago, and I thought it was okay. The beginning of the season was lacking. I wasn't crazy about some of the retcon they were doing with the Klingons. I wasn't crazy about what they were doing with the relationship with all of a sudden Spock now has a half sister. Wasn't crazy about that. Then there was sort of a turn, and I almost knocked over my computer. And then all of a sudden there was a turn, and I was on board. There was a cool little misdirect, and I was on board. Then I never really went back to it. Started watching the second season now. I'm probably halfway through, and I'm on board. I'm on board with Star Trek Discovery. I'm not crazy about how it's not very Star Trek-y. There's Star Trek moments in the series, and I feel like character development is lacking. Like they focus on 3 characters in the show, and so obviously it's the main characters, and you got Doug Jones' character Saru, and now obviously they brought Christopher Pike into the second season, so they're really focusing on him as well. But they neglect the rest of the bridge crew, and I'm actually interested in the bridge crew. I want to know. I want to hear their backstories. I want to know what's going on because they seem like interesting characters. Like there's like a reptilian character, and there's like this android character. I want to know about these characters, and they like a robotic character. Obviously, Jeremy, you're going to say, I thought Data was supposed to be the only android, but anyway. But anyways, so I'm actually interested in knowing more about these characters, and they neglect them completely. And I wish that wasn't the case. I really do love Doug Jones' character, though. I think I think they focus on him too much, and of course Burnham's character as well. And there's a couple of characters that I'm not that crazy about. But anyways, if you're not familiar with Star Trek, Bloomer, have you seen Discovery?
So I haven't seen Discovery yet. No, I have a bunch of television and different series to catch up, watch. I just came off my busy season in my work life, so I have been swamped. Never mind, I stream typically about 40 hours in a week, maybe a little under that now. But on top of that, I was doing about 60 to 70 hours of woodwork and wood burning and things like that. So for the last 2 months, I would say I've pretty much done nothing as far as the nerd side of my life. And so I find that there's just such a constant stream of content in the world now, because I love anime, for example. There's always new animes or different seasons of animes I haven't caught up on. And I have a list that's like 10 miles long that I need to catch up on.
Yeah, I'm usually I'm the case too, where I got a lot on my plate. I'm in what's going on? Why is Jeremy laughing about that?
I was concerned you were about to drop there for
Yeah,
a second.
he's bugging out.
Oh, am I really bugging out?
Just for a moment, you did
for a moment.
And I'm kind of glad it's you, though, because it means it wasn't me. I told you guys just before we started that I was on a different internet connection here, and I'm nervous every time I see any sort of glitch. I'm like having a moment where I'm like ready to spring under the table and start troubleshooting.
All that means is I get to rearrange names later. So
All right.
yeah,
Gonna get dry.
it's gonna get
I will say this: my kids and my wife are downstairs watching a show, so they're streaming a show downstairs.
Uh-oh.
So
Yeah.
it probably is me. Anyway, so I've been watching Star Trek Discovery.
What
Was it?
are they still doing the whole weird organic transwarp drive thing?
Yeah, there's this the jump drive thing. It's they're still doing that. I can see. It seems like, and of course, once again, I'm only still halfway through the second season. It seems like they're trying to make it to where they can't use it all the time, but they use it all the time. Like so, it's kind of frustrating. I see what you're saying.
I hate it. I hate it.
It makes no sense, and we can get into this if we want to. So I agree with you. If you want, the fact that it's set in the past makes no sense. If you wanted to do it, set it in the future, and then everything makes perfect sense. Don't do the whole thing with Spock. It's not necessary to bring in all these other iconic characters. Just make a whole new series with new characters, and if you can use the little jump drive thing, and it's fine. But they wanted to keep it in the past, and they wanted to have Spock in it, and they want to have Pike, who I actually like. I'm on board with Pike, and then the number one character, she seems pretty cool so far too, although they really haven't fleshed out hers just yet. But that's it. That's all. I've been watching Star Trek Discovery. Jeremy, well, we got to move on to you. What's new with you?
So over the holidays, I did start watching Snowpiercer, the series. I don't know what it's on. I'm watching it on HBO now, whatever that service that has a whole bunch of things. So it's pretty good. I like the movie. The show's got Jennifer Connelly, who I've always been a big fan of, and David Diggs, who is from the only musical you've ever seen, Anthony, the guy who plays Lafayette and Jefferson.
Okay, yeah, awesome. So how is the show different from the movie?
So it's really not. So it's really the story of the movie, just with different characters, and it fleshes it out a lot more, and it's spread out across a season. But
so they're on the train then.
Yeah.
So they're on the train, and they're being oppressed, and they're trying to move. They're trying to move up the train. Does a season kind of progress to them going through the train, or how's that work?
So it starts out with them pulling someone from the tail who used to be a detective forward, because they've got a series of murders that they need to have solved. It definitely fleshes out both the sort of origin of Snowpiercer and the kind of social hierarchy throughout the train more than the movie did. And so it basically, the end of the first season, the last few episodes, is the sort of revolt where people from the tail come forward and there's fighting involved and everything.
Is it also an allegory for economic inequality?
I don't know. I just watch stuff. I don't dissect it.
Okay.
It's good.
All right, excellent. So there you go. So you're watching Snowpiercer, the TV show. How many seasons is that?
So far, it's just one.
One season, and you think it's a good series?
Yeah, I like it.
All right, excellent.
And
there you go.
yeah.
There's Jeremy's review of the Snowpiercer. He says, "Yeah, I like it." All right, excellent. Put that on the poster. Put Jeremy underneath. All right,
He'll
let's go ahead and
sign
move
it
on
for
to
you.
Acid Train. I call him Acid, but
It
Acid
is who I
Train,
am.
What's new with you?
Well, it was a good 2 weeks off, Anthony. We had a fantastic couple of weeks of vacation. I don't know how many of you guys got any vacation other than the usual Christmas Day, New Year's Day, that kind of stuff. But we got 2 glorious weeks. It was fantastic. The kids got guinea pigs. So we have 2 new family members, both female guinea pigs. They're about 2 months old. And poop everywhere. Let me just tell you that right now. If you've never had a guinea pig, it is like poop central. But anyway, yeah, so we did that. Of course, had, the usual Christmas feasts and New Year's Day feasts and all that stuff. And now I'm back to driving.
What'd you have? What was your favorite thing that you ate?
Oh, food-wise? Usually my New Year's Day is my favorite meal. Not necessarily of the year, but of this particular holiday. We get hog jows. We also get turnip greens, black-eyed peas, cornbread, and homemade macaroni and cheese.
It is
Sounds all right
some
to me,
deep
holy.
Southern cooking.
Yes. Hog jow. Yeah, Bloomer's like, what's a hog jow?
It sounds like food, and thusly I'm
Yeah.
intrigued and want to try it.
It is the jaw of a pig. And
I'm down.
you fry them up, and they're about yay big. I guess depend on the size of your pig. And it's just platters of them, and it's bacon basically. It's upscale bacon, if you want to call it that.
Is there like a bone element to it? I've never
Yeah,
had.
there's a bone. There's a bone on the. Well, I mean, if you cook it just right, you can eat through the bone, but it's because it's so thin. But yes, there is a bone element.
So
Acid Train
usually
just-
when you're eating the hog jaw, you're just nibbling around the jawbone. Is that
Yep.
what
You have a layer of meat, then you have a layer of fat, and then the bone, which is, paper thin.
Apparently, sometimes it's so good you just eat it.
You just,
The bone.
just
Yeah.
eat it. Yeah. So if it's fried, if it's skillet fried just right, you can just bite it and you're good. Then you get all the layers, and it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, so we've got the second half of the year of school beginning. So the first half, of course, was the COVID half, which we're still dealing with right now.
Pretty
But
sure the second half is too.
yeah, but now what's going on is that the kids who have opted out of the first half of the year now have the option to opt in the second half of the year. And I'm pretty sure all the parents said, we hate these kids. We're going to send them to school. We're tired of them being at the house. So now everyone is going back to school. So my bus load just doubled. It is ridiculous how many kids I have on the bus. It's crazy.
So how does that work? So I know like each bus has a route.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do like if? So I guess if there's just too many people in a particular area for one bus,
Then they'll send another one.
okay.
They'll split it. Yeah. I don't have that issue. My afternoon route is my most populated route, just because most parents are going to take their kids to school and they're just not off work yet, or can get home about the same time I can drop them off, so they don't pick them up at school. So like in the morning, I've got about 25 kids, give or take. But in the afternoon, I've got almost 60. So Yeah, and a
No,
bus
this
and a
is-
bus holds 72 plus me. So
This might be a silly question, but because where I grew up, I was out very rural Canada.
Mhm.
So we had the same bus driver day, evening.
Yeah.
She just parked the bus at her home, and like that's how it worked for us.
sure.
Now, so do you guys do you go to each home individually, stop it, let 1 to 2 kids out depending on the family, then move even if it's 2 houses further, do the same?
Depends. Because I have that on my route because I am in a very rural area. I go down a county road where there are no neighborhoods, or there are, but there are more houses on the road than there are neighborhoods on the road. So I have to stop at those mailboxes and let those kids out. But I do have 2 neighborhoods that I go through as well, and there's pickup drop-off points around the neighborhood, not specifically a house, but at a fork. So at a fork in the road, there's usually a stop where 4 or 5 kids will get off or whatever, and they'll walk, or their parents will be waiting for them right there.
I feel like I see that in like movies and stuff, but I never had to experience that growing up because it was. I mean, it's actually funny because there was a kid that probably got off like 10-second walk down the road from me, but after that, like before me, it was at least like a 2.5-minute drive. The person after him was probably like another 4-minute drive. So it's just it's so funny to think like, okay, like a bunch of kids jump on and a whole bunch of kids like, let's see you later, good luck getting home. Shut the doors, peel off.
When I rode the bus when I was a kid, I had a hub, and it was me and like 6 other kids who would get on the bus to that same hub, and we'd head to school or whatever. So
cool.
But yeah, and it's not bad. I mean, the extra load is fine. I have to go a little farther. My route's a little longer now, but hey, more minutes, more money, right?
My only question is the wheels in the bus.
Yes.
Do they go around?
They
and
in
around?
fact go round and round,
Okay,
Anthony.
I just want to make sure
Yep,
that
they sure do. Yep.
we're on the same page there.
Yep. As
Every
now,
time.
yeah, it was the same in 2020. It is the same in 2021.
Okay,
They still go round.
I didn't know if the new year changed it. I didn't know.
Well,
if
we
it
thought
was
we
around.
thought it was. We thought they were gonna just fall right off, but
Well,
apparently they have
ironically, in
not.
Canada, our tires are still squares. If you've ever seen
Oh,
like
is
South
that
Park, you'll
right?
see.
Oh.
So it's more of like a clunk, 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 clunk,
That
clunk,
seems
clunk.
There you go.
This is very inefficient.
Yeah, it's
But,
kind of like using pine cones for currency, but hey, we're still doing it.
That's
right?
okay.
So,
As long as you got Tim Hortons, you're good, right?
exactly. Get
I
your
will
Timmy's every
say-
Sunday, just
I
a
will
toonie
say
for a large
this.
double, eh?
That's right. I will say that we have some viewers today,
Oh,
everyone. A shout out to Bloomer and his #1 fan, Calmo, coming in. Favorite Canadian bearded.
It's
Bearded
very specific.
Canadian, #1 Reinhardt player. So there you go. You got some Overwatch people here with you.
It's the only way I can find it like a forte for people is to be very specific for what they're looking for, you know?
That's right.
Like, well, Canadian and bearded, plays Overwatch on the regular, but
Yeah.
only Reinhardt
Only Reinhardt.
and happens to be live between these hours. That's about it.
going for that niche.
Yeah,
Well, why don't we go ahead and move on to Bloomer then, right?
Let's do
got
it.
your fans waiting for you. Don't keep them waiting.
This
Right?
exciting moment of catching up with me.
It
Gosh.
should.
And
Let's
There we go.
there's just
Well-
so much happening in my life, guys.
Let's
so-
hear it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. So I'm actually gonna take this opportunity, and a lot of people that know me, they know I'm going through this right now. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna be very honest. Recently, we just passed the holiday season. Celebrate Christmas here myself, and so instead of a traditional Christmas present, I got a little bit of money from my dad and my grandma, and they kind of said, just whatever it is, buy something fun. Because you don't buy fun stuff. I'm always someone who I put towards the mortgage. I'm always trying to pay down bills. And so they said, buy something fun. That's all that matters. So I went ahead and I picked up a planetarium, the Sega Flux Planetarium. It's incredible looking. I wish I could
Okay.
show you guys all this. It looks so
Yeah.
good. And I have been waiting, checking my phone every 20 minutes for an update on where it is in the delivery. And I have not heard one thing from them in 6 days now. 6 days. Come on. Sort it
Ugh.
out. I want my planetarium. So,
Yeah. Oh, you're
right,
gonna have to
tell
send
me
us the
about-
video on that one.
Tell me about this planetarium. What are we talking about here? What is it supposed to do?
so it's literally just a projector. That's all it is. What you see behind me right now, this incredible space thing, it comes with 2 discs, and they're basically the same. Just one has the constellations on it as well. but it projects onto you, whether it's the ceiling, wall, whatever, a very realistic, it's of the, well, for me, it's for the northern hemisphere of the stars. And it just slowly rotates through the night. And it's basically watching as if you were watching the stars. And
Nice.
I love space, and I love just staring at the stars, getting real Canadian and just having a great time. So to me, this is like the number one thing in my world that I've wanted. And I didn't even know I wanted it till I saw it on, because again, everyone's going to think what an adult this guy is. My wife and I, when we bought our home, one of the first purchases we bought was those little plastic stars that you put on the ceiling when you're 6 years old and you fall asleep to that. No, we did that. How old would I have been? 20, 27, 28, and she would have been about 25. And we were like, that's 100% the right decision. So we've had that, and this is the upgrade. When I saw it in one of those ads, I forget if it was on Instagram or wherever it was, and I was just like, this is the thing I need in my life right here, right now. I've been pretty excited. I've been debating it for probably a good 3 months. Got the money, said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull the trigger on this, and I can't even give you guys an honest review of it yet because it has not come through yet. Okay. And I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs every 5 minutes, checking my phone. Like even now, I'm like, oh, is it? Nope, still no news. Yeah. But
what brand did you say it was?
It's it's the Flux Planetarium from Sega Toys.
Wow.
Sega Toys.
Okay.
So a company we would all know, I believe. I would
hope so.
I'm assuming it's the same Sega as we.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. I guess because obviously you don't really hear a lot about Sega anymore, right? But it's Sega Toys, so I don't know. I could be totally promoting the wrong people for them.
You might be.
Sorry, other Sega, but what were you thinking? Naming your company after Sega? Like, really? Let's talk that through for a minute. Outside of Planetarium, is there anything really going on? Well, I just mentioned I finished my busy season at work, so I'm really happy about that. Commissions are open. I do wood burning, woodwork. I'm actually gonna be, once Home Depot's open, we're in a pretty severe lockdown here in Ontario right now. I'm going to be redesigning my whole office space. I'm going to be building a desk in this back corner. No, believe it or not, I'm not actually in space right now, everyone. I'm going to build a whole thing, and I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to the year 2021 being a bit of a shake up, a little bit fresher than the year 2020. Get out of that 2020 feel,
What's your preferred wood that you build with for like a desk?
Well then, I don't know. Where are we rated on this stream? No, honestly, I'm probably going to be doing a mixture because I have to be cost effective still. We get a lot of pine out here. There's a lot of maple. You can get oak as like a higher quality wood. I'm pretty cheap, so I'm probably going to stick mostly with a white pine. I'll just stain it to the colors that I like. Once I get it sanded down, I'll sand it down to like 2000 grit. I don't know. I'm probably going a totally different direction for people here, but once I sand it to 2000 grit, it's going to be beautiful no matter what I do.
Just use styrofoam. You'll be all right.
Yeah, that's listen, it's going to save money, so might as well. Construction way easier.
We're talking about wood quality here on Sci-Fi Gangsters.
Our top three favorite wood qualities. Yeah.
This is really the Canadian version of Sci-Fi Gangsters. We're talking about wood.
But you know what? The hope is that maybe one day we're going to be talking about how it would be easier to just 3D print a desk, and then we're back to Star Trek and like the true way that we would like to see 3D printing work, right? Just me?
That's right. Let's do it.
Food sent in at any.
Put the replicators in right now.
I'd be getting chicken wings right this moment.
Well, there you go. So Bloomerforthewin there is waiting for his planetarium that he ordered from Sky Mall. It should be coming in any moment. Let us know if it comes in during the show.
I'm keeping an eye on it.
Look it up when it comes in.
We'll do a boxing video as part of the show, right?
Ooh, nice. I like that.
Get down to business. All right, so let's move on to our second topic here, or I should say our actual topic, the thing that we were supposed to talk about today, and that is top 3 video games of your childhood. And obviously I left it ambiguous on a reason, because for a reason I wanted you to decide what that means. If you want to talk about when you were like really little, or if you want to talk about during your college times or high school, whatever. I wanted to let you talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Or 2 weeks ago, even.
2 weeks ago, look, my inner child still plays video games. But yeah, so top three, we'll do it the way we always do it, where we go 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, all the way down to 1. But yeah, so what is the top 3 video games of your childhood? I guess I will go ahead and begin with my number 3. First of all, some honorable mentions, because you have to do honorable mentions. So Punch-Out, the Nintendo game Punch-Out. Does everyone remember the Punch-Out game where you're fighting Mike Tyson? I put StarCraft. I played that game endlessly. Duke Nukem. I always liked hitting the space bar, and then the stripper would flash you. That was fun.
Best game ever.
I was like a 10-year-old that was like space bar, space bar, space bar, space bar.
Don't lie, you still do that now on your laptop.
Yeah, a different video game. All right, so Smash Brothers. Me and my friends used to play Smash Brothers constantly, and then we'd go out and throw each other off the trampoline, then go back in there and play some more Smash Brothers. GoldenEye, obviously you have to mention GoldenEye. I didn't put it as my top 3 because I felt like someone was going to mention GoldenEye, maybe not. And then everyone played GoldenEye, and of course I was one of those to everyone. And then Madden. I've been playing Madden since the 90s.
Yeah,
I didn't put it as my top 3 because it's still around. That's not fun.
I figured you would have put NCAA.
NCAA would be another good option there as well. And I also put Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Capcom.
Yeah, that one's still pretty popular these days.
That is very true. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and start off with my number 3, and that is the X-Men Arcade. I think that's my number 3, right?
That is your number 3, yes.
All right, so the X-Men Arcade from 1992. So when I was a youngin', this game is infused in my childhood memories. Anytime I think about my childhood, I think about this X-Men Arcade. Particularly in junior high. This game came out way before I was in junior high. When I was in junior high, if you got A's and B's in junior high, they would take you to Fun, which was an arcade. So if you got A's and B's in junior high, they took everyone who got A's and B's to the arcade, and they gave you $5 of coins, and you could play. And then I remember one memory I can think of is, if you're not familiar with the X-Men Arcade game, it's that game where there's, was it like 6 players can play at the same time? You have 6 joysticks, and you could play, like, was it Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and some other Cyclops, Colossus, right? Storm was one of them. But you could, so I remember one time we had all 6 people on that thing, and it was the coolest experience of my childhood ever. I replayed the game about 5 years ago. It's terrible. It's not good. But I just remember it being such an important childhood memory. I almost put X-Men versus Street Fighter because that was also a game that I played a lot when I was a kid. I used to ask my parents for $5, and I would ride my bike to the mini mall, and I would go in there and I would buy football cards, like 2 packs, and then I would use the rest of the money and I would just play X-Men versus Street Fighter. Sometimes I would go to the bowling alley and buy some nachos. I would eat the nachos and then play X-Men versus Street Fighter, and that was the happiest I was ever.
That's a good childhood memory there. I like that one. That's a good one.
Alley,
I'll have to remember that one when I'm really famous. I can use that as a niche.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I used to go to the bowling alley and get
when
nachos.
$5 could buy anything.
Right? Yeah.
This was back when you were a kid and you had $5. You're like, this is my day.
You could do everything.
I go to the bowling alley, I'll get some nachos, and the rest I'll just sit there and I'll play X-Men versus Street Fighter over and over again.
Yeah, so I remember that. I remember X-Men Street Fighter. What was the gameplay like in the X-Men game you're talking about?
It was your classic 2D scroller game, kind of like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's very Ninja Turtle arcade.
And it had, like, each player, like each X-Men had their own special ability, so they had their little punch moves, but then you had a special ability. So Cyclops would do a big optic blast, Nightcrawler would run around the whole screen, Wolverine would just do some big flash.
Yeah, with his claws. Yeah, I remember that.
And then, like, Colossus, for whatever reason, would just scream, and, like, he would knock everybody down. It didn't make any sense.
It was basically the screen clear effect.
Yes.
So it was everyone dies right now with a special ability, and then it was on cooldown for a little bit.
But the way the cabinet was set up, it had 6 spots. Like it was a huge arcade, and it had 6 spots. So if you had 6 players, you would have 6 people on the screen, and it was just chaos. But yeah, there you go. There's my number 3. We'll go ahead and move on to Jeremy. What's your number 3?
Okay, so if we're doing honorable mentions, I have to mention Black Dahlia by Take-Two Interactive. I enjoyed it a lot. And the Gabriel Knight series. And so all mine are going to have the adventure game theme. But my number 3 is Broken Sword, Circle of Blood. So this is probably one of those series that, like, in the adventure game enthusiast world is massive and very well known. And anyone outside of that has never heard of it. So it's just a point and click adventure game. It's set up, you're a tourist, you're an American tourist in Paris, and you're involved peripherally in this terrorist attack, and you go about sort of unraveling this mystery that involves the Knights Templar. And this was well before Dan Brown and all that nonsense, Da Vinci Code stuff. But
Jeremy's like, this is way better. Let me tell you,
it was much better.
Way better.
And it spawned off. I think there were 5 Broken Sword games at the end of it. But just a lot of fun. Like, I've probably played this game through 10 times.
Wow.
Like, it was remastered a few years ago. I bought the remaster, played through it. It's
where would you purchase the remaster, and is it on PC?
It's on PC.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I bought it from GOG, but I think Steam has it as well.
But was it originally PC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. These are all PC games.
These are all PC games? Okay.
Yeah.
When did this game come out?
Probably 92-ish, I'm going to guess. Yeah, I'm going to guess it's somewhere around there. Maybe 93.
All right, there you go. Jeremy's got his Broken Sword. We'll move on to AcidTrain. Acid, what's your number 3?
All right. Well, I guess I'll throw some honorable mentions in there before we get to the number 3, of course. Doom, original Doom, if you guys remember that for the PC. I mean, you can't really beat that, the original first-person shooter. As much as everyone loved GoldenEye, Doom came I'm pretty sure Doom came first. Yeah. No mouse, just all keyboard. You know, you were trying to no up and down looking, just horizontal looking. Let's see, what was another one? StarCraft, of course, you know, a classic. I played that a good bit, StarCraft 1, and what was the expansion? Brood Wars, yeah. I played a little bit. Of course, Warcraft 3 or Warcraft Orcs versus Humans and 2 were some great games. And another honorable. This one almost made the list, just because I played it so much. But it was Myst. Do you guys remember Myst for PC? Yeah.
Yeah, we had a trivia question.
We did have that's right, we did. That was one of my favorite games as a kid, but it didn't make the list, and you'll see why here in a second. But my number 3, believe it or not, is a Blizzard game, and it's not StarCraft. Guys, do you remember Rock and Roll Racing? Rock and Roll Racing was originally by Blizzard. I cannot tell you how many hours upon hours upon hours I played this game with me and with my friends. We would just sit there on the edge of the bed on my little bitty television, and we would just race to those little, 32-bit songs and everything. I mean, it was just great times. You could choose from a different alien. I think there was a human, and then you could pick from a human, and there was like 3 or 4 other alien species that you could pick from. But basically, you were trying to get enough money to upgrade your car and, of course, race faster, and then get to the next planet to race the next group of aliens. And you would do that over and over and over again. And I had a blast with it. Did any of y'all play Rock and Roll Racing?
Is that a Nintendo game?
It was a Super Nintendo game. Yep.
That sounds very familiar. I don't think I've played it though.
Yeah, I never had a Super Nintendo.
I want to seem like I'm really cool, like yourself, AcidTrain, but I'm afraid this is one that I missed the boat on.
Wow, you missed the boat on it.
I missed the boat.
It's not good today. Don't play it. It'll it's not worth it. The
That's
memory of myself playing that game so many days and years, just I'm gonna let it be. I do have it on. I do not have it on emulator. Just so we, since we're publicly talking here, I have an original copy that I play, of course. Every once in a while, I'll pop it out. But yeah, so good times.
Nice.
You know what that reminds me of? Twisted Metal. I didn't even think about it. Did you guys play Twisted
It
Metal?
was it was
Twisted
similar.
Metal was great.
It was similar, just not as graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal was a little bit later, right?
It was a little bit later. It was
Oh,
for
yeah, much
PlayStation. It was a PlayStation
Yeah,
game.
much later. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Bloomer. Bloomer, what's your number 3 video game of your childhood?
Well, just like you guys, this was a tough decision for me. I want you to know I got approached with this question. Took me about 3 days to even narrow down my honorable mention list. Never mind my top 3 list. So a few you guys already mentioned, so I won't get into them. But I do have to name a few just in my honorable mention that I don't know if everyone's heard about. But the big one for sure, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yes,
Super Nintendo
I do.
and or Sega Genesis. Unbelievable game, super fun. You had to try and rescue your neighbors before zombies ate them.
That's right.
Phenomenal game.
Yep, it sat on my shelf right next to Echo the Dolphin.
Another great game and
Yeah.
well worth mentioning. Jeremy, you actually made me think of one when you were talking about the point and click style game, and that's Shadowgate. Shadowgate was a game I played so much, original Nintendo growing up. It took me forever to get through that game because I was very young. So I probably tried the same solutions to puzzles like 30, 40, 50 times before I would restart the game, do it again 30, 40 times before recognizing, oh, what if you just try something else? Oh, that might work. So anyways,
It's fun,
another
yeah.
great one. Super Bomberman. That was a great one for me. Super Bomberman 2. I had a friend who we played the heck out of that all the time. Super Soccer, and you mentioned GoldenEye, but I'm gonna say Perfect Dark as a
Or Dark
Ooh,
was
Perfect
also
I would
Dark.
say I actually like Perfect Dark more than GoldenEye. Don't at me. I do. I think Perfect Dark was an improved version. That being said, going into number 3 for me, I went ahead and I chose Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest for the original Nintendo, the NES system. Unbelievable game. It was, again, because I was very young when I played on the original Nintendo. Again, I'm 33 now, so when I was playing, I was probably like 7 or 8, and that game I invested so many hours in, grinding through just mobs to grind out enough hearts so that I could upgrade my whip and build up my character's level. And it was unbelievable the amount of time. And that was one of the first games like that style that I actually completed all the way through. And that was a real proud moment for me as a kid. My brother, who's about 2 years older than me, I think he beat it 6 or 7 times before I made it through one time. But it was just a game that meant so much to me and really put me on the passion of wanting to complete an actual story mode in a game. So
Excellent. So those are your honorable mentions. Did you do your number 3?
that was Castlevania 2 is
Castlevania.
my
Okay.
number 3. If
Excellent.
you'd like, though, I have about 30 more in honorable mentions. Go through those too.
I just get distracted every time you say a boot.
A boot, eh?
I love it. Every time you do it, I'm on board.
Oh God, I'm so Canadian. At least I'm not wearing my flannel today for you guys, though. I really dressed it up, you know.
That's right. Put the sweater
Well,
on.
I'm enjoying it. I'm on board. Keep it up. Is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So number 2. We'll go ahead and get to our number 2. I will go ahead and start. My number 2 is Baldur's Gate 2, right? Is that what I put down? I always forget what order I put it in.
You actually put Lego Barbie as your number 2. Yeah.
Lego Barbie.
A classic.
Classic. Yeah.
All
Baldur's
right, so
Gate 2.
Baldur's Gate 2. Jeremy, did you play Baldur's Gate? I think you did.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so Baldur's Gate. Throughout high school, I only played, the first time I played Dungeons and Dragons was with you, Jeremy, about a year ago. And so I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons in high school, but I did play Baldur's Gate. I played the crap out of this game. But it was during, I was one of those video game players who, I never finished a game. I always started a game, and then I would play it for a little bit, and then I would go back and go, no. I got to start over and do it this way. Because in Baldur's Gate, you made a team, or what do you call it? Not a what do you call horde, a group, whatever. In Dungeons and Dragons, a team, and you made your whole team, so you could do any species, any whatever you wanted. So you could make a whole, like, so you had one wizard, you could have a fighter. So I would spend hours just making my team, and then I would play for a couple hours and go, you know what? I need another wizard, and I would remake the whole team over and again.
Nice.
And most of my time, I probably spent more time making my team than I actually did play the game. I don't think I ever finished the game, but it was Baldur's Gate is your classic. I think Neverwinter Nights was a sequel to it. That was another good one.
Good game.
Of course, Diablo is kind of the same style. But yeah, so Baldur's Gate is my number 2. Many times, many hours spent creating players. Not that many hours actually playing the game, but I did enjoy playing the game. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Jeremy. Your number 2.
So my number 2 is, and I might actually swap these up on you.
Go ahead.
My number 2 is the Pandora Directive.
Okay.
So when we were talking a few weeks ago, when we were talking about upcoming games we were excited about, I mentioned a game that's actually in this same universe. So this series, I think the first game came out in like 89, 90-ish maybe.
That sounds right.
So like it spans, 30 years all told, assuming the last one actually comes out. But so Pandora Directive, it was the first game in the series that I played. You play as this private detective, Tex Murphy, and again, it's like this hard-boiled PI in the sort of Philip Marlowe, Sam Spade kind of fashion, set in a post-nuclear fallout San Francisco. But this one, you're basically start out in a case looking for somebody, and it winds up that these are people who worked in Roswell with an alien cover-up, and the aliens are among us, and on and on. And so it's actually, in some parts when I was a kid, like there's some parts of it that were kind of scary because there's like this disembodied alien coming after you in Roswell. So there was actually a time when I had to stop playing it. I was like, I can't. It's too freaky. But then it's a really cool game, and it's actually, for an adventure game, decently long. But it's one of those full motion video. Yeah, it's like a really immersive experience.
When did this one come out?
I think Pandora Directive probably came out around 96. I'm gonna guess. Something like that. It was back when you could choose to interlace or not interlace your screen. So it was a while back.
All right, excellent. Well, there you go. Moving on to AcidTrain. What's your number 2?
Number 2. This game should be on most gamers' lists of some kind, especially if they grew up in the 90s. Maybe even an honorable mention. Yes, get ready to write this down, Anthony. It's Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII. Let's go ahead and get that clear, because the remake, from what I've seen, is not what I was looking for. But yes, Final Fantasy VII original, great gameplay, great story. For the times, great graphics. It was the second game I ever completed in my video gaming career. That's what it started. It started with the next game I'll mention, my number 1. But this one is the second game I ever completed. And this one I completed more than once, just for, why not? I mean, it's Final Fantasy VII, and you can do, like Anthony said, you could just do so many things and have your different groups. Of course, these groups were more defined. You had Barrett and Cloud and Tifa and Eris, and you had all these, and you could pick your groups. But I think the most I ever spent on one playthrough, I got everyone to almost max level and completed everything. Defeated all the weapons, cleared each zone, unlocked every character, all that good stuff. So that's when I knew I was a nerd. That's when I knew.
There you go. Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is
Final
the one
Fa- yeah.
franchise
Final Fantasy
that everybody loves that I have not played. That is the one video game franchise that everybody loves that I have.
There are a few of them that are not as good. Like some of the earlier ones, like I didn't care for Mystic Quest. Final Fantasy VI was really good, or if you played on Super Nintendo, it was Final Fantasy 3. That one was the first Final Fantasy I ever played. I never did beat it, but I did play a good chunk of it, and it was really good. I don't know why I didn't finish it. I don't even remember. I probably bought Final Fantasy 7, just played it. But yeah, but
Or
some
you were
some
like
of them.
me that just never finished a game.
I never finished
I
games.
never
Yeah.
finished a game. I always played a heck out of it, but I never finished.
Yeah, you would love Fortnite. You never have to finish it. Yeah. Minecraft. Go.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Acid Train with Final Fantasy. Right, there's a guy with a big sword, right?
There's a guy with a big sword, the Buster
That's
Sword.
The one thing I know
That's
about
right.
Final Fantasy is a guy with a huge sword.
That's
All
it.
right, Bloomer, here you go. You're number 2.
My big moment. Again, the problem is listening to you guys talk. I'm like reevaluating my list, and I'm like, well, I should have mentioned this one as well as at least an honorable mention. You guys, I don't know where it came from, but where in the world is Carmen Sandiego crossing my
Oh
mind?
gosh,
that game
yes,
is amazing. And I didn't even think about that. And now I'm like, how did I not put that as?
I played that one, and Mario is Missing together. Did you remember Mario is Missing?
I never played Mario is Missing, but I'm instantly wanting to go and like.
It was very similar to Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, because it was Where in the World is Mario, but it was called Mario is Missing. Yeah.
Amazing. That being said, what I actually chose for my number 2, it's called Might and Magic 6: The Mandate of Heaven. So I don't know if anyone remembers the Might and Magic series. It predated the Heroes of Might and Magic. When Ubisoft bought the franchise, it became Heroes of Might and Magic, and they completely changed the way the game ran and worked, and it was a very different thing. But what Might and Magic originally is you created a party. So in the 6th iteration, the Mandate of Heaven, my personal favorite in the series, you made a team of 4. I typically would use like a knight, a paladin, a cleric, a sorcerer, or maybe 2 sorcerers, because magic was really strong. And you basically were playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's I think fairly similar to what you were talking about in that sense earlier, Jeremy. And that's it was make your quest party, I guess, and you go out and you level up and you just beat quests throughout the game. Nothing magical about it, really. You do have magic abilities in this world, and it's very you go turn-based typically in the tough fights, and you can also run around free play. Though it's an open world concept, and again, a great story along the way. And it really was one of those games. I don't know, I played it again recently thanks to Good Old Games, and I don't know if it held up quite as well as I wanted it to in my head, but it still was such a phenomenal, fun experience. It was a lot easier as an adult than it was as a kid. Again, I found I was like, oh, why did I remember spending, we're talking about tens, maybe even hundreds of hours grinding to get slight stat increases on my armor. I like the smallest thing, +1 might to my character that already has 248 might.
You need that one.
You know, and I would spend hours, and I don't think I think I beat the game eventually, but I'll probably on my 15th try through it, restarting the game, doing it all over again. As an adult, I beat the whole game in like a week, and I was like, oh, I thought this was a lot harder. But it was still, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and it's one of those games that forever and a day will bring me back to being on a laptop that could barely run it, but inserting the little CD and hearing it spin and chug along, and it really brings me back, that game.
All right, excellent. Sounds very similar to Baldur's Gate as well.
Yes,
the same kind of concept there.
Actually, I think that's the one I was referring to. So my bad if I pointed Jeremy and I was thinking Anthony, or vice versa.
We're all the same.
I'm new. I'm sorry.
Don't blame him. He's just Canadian, guys.
And I'm Canadian. Our education system, not fantastic.
It's all the maple
Just
syrup.
wait till you come south.
Yeah.
We're in Alabama, so.
You guys get me. You guys get me. It's fine.
The only thing we're lacking here are the mooses, right?
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Wow. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to number 1. Is the planetarium there yet?
It still has not arrived. There are still no updates. I
Ugh.
hate to say it, guys. I thought that maybe this was going to be my lucky charm this show, and after 5 days of nothing, we were going to finally hear something.
It's going to happen right in the middle of trivia. You just wait.
Yeah, as I run away, it's here.
It's here.
Perfect. Excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and get to our number 1. My number 1 is a game very special to me, and I'm sure none of you have heard of this game. But if we want to talk about a video game,
Duke Nukem.
that's sort of was that
Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Hit the space bar.
Space bar.
Hit the space bar. No, so this game is Imperium Galactica, and this game is I've been reading a lot about video games lately, and this game sort of created part of my identity, right? Me growing up. So it's a science fiction 4X game. I think Wikipedia calls it a 4X game. I'm not sure what a 4X game is, but it's sort of like a turn-based game, and like your Sim City.
It was a strategy game, right?
Yeah, it's a strategy game, right?
Yeah.
And
So kind of like Civilization, in a way.
It's like Command and Conquer in space.
Exactly.
If I remember.
Yeah.
So StarCraft.
Exactly, but it's not as there's way more to it than just like your StarCraft or your Warcraft. Warcraft. It's obviously you're set as you're the governor of a space civilization, and you're colonizing planets. But you also have this diplomacy that you have to create the buildings on the planets, but then you also have to build spaceships. Right, it's your basic. There's many games that are like this nowadays. Galactic Civilizations, I think, is like the predecessor of this game. Like this, the most contemporary version of this game. But Imperium Galactica was the very first. I want to say very first game that I just lost myself in the game. It was a game that was given to my dad from a family member who does not know my dad. So my dad does not play PC games. So they gave it to him, and he didn't even open it. He didn't even touch it. So I decided I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put it in the computer, and I'm going to wait for it to load for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to play the game. And it was just like, this is what made me turn into a science fiction fan, besides Star Trek. But this is the very first video game that I just completely lost myself into it. The soundtrack was amazing. And there was a story behind it. So it was early in the early days when they still had the actual like real like video, right? It showed like real actors in it, but then it would kind of go back and forth between the real and the terrible graphics. But you would spread out, you would create colonies, you would build up those colonies, you would build spaceships, and then you would eventually. It actually had a narrative that kind of guides you through the story. So it wasn't like the games that you see now, where it's kind of just you play the game and it's sort of simulated, but this actually had a narrative that kind of guided you through it. I think there was one point where I played it for so long, and I got to a point where a new alien was introduced, and it completely obliterated my whole fleet. And I was like, okay, I'm not starting over. And I ended up stopped playing the game. But Imperium Galactica, it was released in 1997, the very first PC game I ever played. I can still remember the house that I was in, the computer that I played it on. But yeah, Imperium Galactica.
Wow. Okay.
Let's move on to Jeremy.
So my number 1 is Wing Commander 4: The Price of Freedom. So I'm sure I've played this game all the way through at least 10 times. I know I've bought it at least 4 times. Like I bought a version, loaned it out to my cousin. He would never give it back. Bought another version.
Is that Mark Hamill on the cover? I guess
It is Mark Hamill.
Is it? Okay. I was like, that guy looks like Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Mark Hamill, Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Okay.
So I hunted down a very rare version of the DVD version of the game, which had improved video. And then I bought it again on GOG to have for a new system. So it's Mark Hamill, it's Tom Wilson, Malcolm McDowell, a handful of other people, other actors that you'd probably recognize from playing small parts and other things. You play as, and it's also it was made by Chris Roberts, who is the guy responsible for Star Citizen, the longest game in development and most expensive probably game in development in history. But you play as a war hero, and you're sort of called back into action. Find out that maybe the people you're fighting for aren't who you thought they were. You end up defecting and fighting for the sort of rebellion. It's a very good game. So it's half story, and you can make some choices that affect the path of the game somewhat, and then the other half is a space simulator, and it's actually not bad. Like it kind of holds up for what it is. Like it was made in the mid to late 90s, but it's looking back, it's not nearly as bad as some graphics were at the time. So yeah, price of freedom is eternal vigilance.
Price of freedom. All right, excellent. All right, so moving on to Acid, your number one.
All right, my number one, the very first game I ever completed. This was also for the Super Nintendo. It is by a company that is no longer around, Ape Studios. They are known for the Mother series in Japan, but the one that I'm talking about is Mother 2, also known as Earthbound. Earthbound was a Super Nintendo game. I remember actually walking into Sears and purchasing this game from the gaming kiosk that was no larger than a snow cone stand. So if you want to reference Bloomer, it's a Tim Hortons counter. Okay, yeah. It's basically what I just went up to Tim Hortons counter and bought a video game back in the 90s. It came in a huge box. I mean, this box was massive because it also came with a player's guide. I'm pretty sure it was around $30 or $40 or something. I can't remember. My mom bought it. Who cares? When you're a kid, you don't have any money. And the only reason I bought it was because it was in that huge box with a shiny alien on the front in gold armor. I mean, he just looked like, yes, I need to play this game. Well, I don't even know what it is. I'm just going to buy it. I want that game, Mom. Sure. Took it home. Didn't know what an RPG was. Didn't know what a turn-based RPG was. Started playing this game and was immediately hooked. It is a first-person battle mode turn-based RPG. Of course, when you're running around the world, you have to look up some videos and stuff of Earthbound. Very cartoony, very weird. Your main characters' names are Ness, Paula, Jeff, and Pooh. And of course, Ness is in Super Smash Brothers. If you don't know where he came from the Earthbound series. And you have things like pencils blocking your path, and you have to go to a inventor kid named the Apple Kid, and you have to wait for him to develop the pencil eraser, and you go. I mean, it's insane, and then you get dismembered from your body, and you go into space, and it's the game is still good today. If you ever want an old school RPG that still holds up today, Earthbound is definitely the game that you need to try.
All right, well there you go. Acid's number one is Earthbound with
Not
Ness.
a sponsor.
with Ness. Ness comes from that game.
Ness, yes.
All right, excellent. The one character that no one wanted to play in Smash Brothers.
That's it. And Lucas. Lucas is part of the Mother series too, but he was not in Earthbound.
All right, excellent. All right, Bloomer for the win. What do we got?
All right. So I think on this one, I went a little more traditional in the sense that I think I was trying to mostly avoid, your standard games, but I went with this one anyways. Super Nintendo. And I'm going to explain why I chose this one specifically. It could have been any Mario game from N64 or earlier, but I went with the Super Nintendo's Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. And I hope you guys have had the opportunity to play this game at some point in your life because, oh my gosh, it is such a fantastic game. It was a kind of a Final Fantasy style RPG turn-based combat, but with the Mario characters. And you got to choose, I believe it was 3 people on your team at any time. Mario was always one of the 3, but you got to play as Bowser or Princess Peach or some other characters that never made it beyond this game in the Mario world, like Mallow or Geno, 2 incredible characters. And man, they had great stories, and I loved everything about it. The actual game poked fun at itself a lot, which was great. The characters would have dialogue, like there'd be an off-screen character that comments about the fact that you can't see them, and just like little poke fun at itself jokes. There was a lot of additional content along the way. There was things like timing your super jump. If you were able to do 100 super jumps in a row, you were able to unlock an additional area. And it was such a brilliant game. And I remember as a kid thinking, because when this was a game not long before I got the N64, and I remember when the N64 came out being so blown away by the graphics and thinking that we had hit the pinnacle of gaming.
We had.
When the Super Mario 64 came out and I played that, I couldn't believe the graphics. But then I went back and I was playing all my Super Nintendo games, and I was like, Super Mario World, look how flat it looks and dumb. And I went to Super Mario RPG and I was like, this game holds up. This game is, and this is little, I don't know how old I would have been, but probably like 14, 13, being like, this game holds up. This game's graphics are pretty solid. And I to this day, I wish they would either release it again on the Switch. They have that great area for the Super Nintendo games and the original Nintendo games. Please, Nintendo, I'm begging you. If not, maybe the idea of a Super Mario RPG 2 at some point. I don't know. I kind of feel like they swapped over to Paper Mario, and that kind of became that style of game, which, again, great series. I love the Paper Mario games too. But Super Mario RPG, again, maybe there's a certain amount of nostalgia. Maybe it's just because I always loved Mallow, the tadpole that didn't really look like a tadpole. It's, it speaks to me. And to this day, I haven't played it other than on the Super Nintendo. So it's probably been now, I would safely say, it's been 18, 19 years since I played it the last time. And I would say I think about it at least once a month to this day about how great it was and how much I wish I could have the opportunity to play it again without dragging out my old Super Nintendo.
Only while in the shower, though, right?
Usually in the shower.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right, exactly. All right, there you go. There's our top 3 lists. Very different lists, which is great. Awesome. Very different lists. And these are the definitive lists. So if anyone disagrees, you're wrong.
They're wrong.
Obviously.
They're wrong.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
These are the official lists, right? My childhood game is Halo. The younger people.
Fortnite. It's like, why are you watching? Okay.
Exactly. Why is anyone watching? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, trivia.
Trivia
here.
This is my favorite segment.
All right, so
This is when I don't have to answer any questions.
I was going to say, can you guys hear me Googling the answers right now?
Yeah, there it is. All right, so we're going to do the standard trivia, of course. I've got 8 questions here, 4 different categories, and then the list question, the essay question, so to speak.
I like it, essay.
The essay question. Let me go ahead and get my score pad, my handy-dandy score pad that's so high-tech. It's a pencil and some paper. Yeah,
Huge.
It's huge. All right, so we have Anthony and Bloomer and J-Dog, as we've been known to call him.
J-Dog.
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 Okay, so Bloomer, since you are the guest of the hour, you get to pick the first category, sir. And the categories are sci-fi and fantasy, comics and video games, science and technology, or geek life.
Oh, man, there's a couple of good ones there, eh?
I've got some easy questions. We got some hard questions. So.
Are we bouncing through them, or is it all questions within that one category for the whole time?
Nope, we'll be bouncing around. You just get to pick the first category we start with.
Let's start with the video games one, then.
Okay, let's start with the video
All right,
games.
here we go.
Okay, you better all get this because this one's a multiple choice. I'll give you the option to answer it without the multiple choice for double points. So you'll get 2 points for this if you can answer it without the multiple
Okay, I like
choice.
the new rules.
All right. His name was Jumpman when he first appeared in Donkey Kong. We now know him better as what?
So we should probably write it down, right?
Go ahead and write it down. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead and write it down. I'm going to come to each of you and get
I
your
don't have
answer.
pencil and paper, but I have a guess.
You could, yeah, that's fine. And I'll come around to each of you. You tell me your answer. If you're all wrong, I'll just give you the multiple choice, and then we'll go again. If one of you is right, I'll let you know one of you is right, or however many is right. Bless you, sir. Shouldn't have done that. Should have hit the mute button, sir.
Oh.
And then we'll do. Then I'll share the multiple choice. Okay, so Anthony, we're going to start with you first. What is your guess?
Mario.
We have Mario. All right, Bloomer. You can just tell me. That's fine. You don't
I
have to.
also went ahead. It's backwards on my screen, but Mario.
Oh, I can see it.
Mario.
Yeah, it looks good. Mario and Jeremy.
Yeah, Mario.
Mario, and the correct answer, believe it or not, was Princess Peach. No, I'm just kidding. It is Mario. Everybody gets 2 points.
Hooray!
Congratulations. All right.
All right, I got a shot.
All right. Let's go with a not much harder question, but a little different direction. We're going to sci-fi and fantasy. What nation threatens to invade Sparta in the film 300? This is also multiple choice. Give me your answers. Same rules apply. I should probably get some nice trivia music going. What do you think? I mean, y'all won't be able to hear it, but
Well, I was gonna say. I mean,
You know what I
I'm
could
just
do?
Picturing the trivia music in my ears, I'm like, yeah, that's
you
great.
should. Let's get some Skyrim music.
Wow.
You know? I mean, why not?
Oh no, your ad revenue.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
all that ad revenue. Look out. Oh, we're on YouTube. They don't care.
Oh, phew! Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I've been stopping myself from humming songs this whole time because I didn't want to get DMCA strike here.
All right. I'll let that ad play. Okay, so Anthony, what is your answer?
If I remember correctly, it is Persia.
Okay. Bloomer.
I absolutely agree with Anthony. It was the Persian army that was raiding, so Persia.
Okay.
Persia.
And J-Dog.
Persian Empire.
You're all incorrect. It was the Oompa Loompas. No, it is Persia.
Persia.
Damn that Willy Wonka.
Everybody gets 2 points. All right, man. This is a 3-way tie.
Ooh, I like a three-way.
That's crazy. All right, now that we have Skyrim music going on. It's very epic now. All right, let's move on to... we'll do Geek Life. Since we're playing some music, this will be a music-related question. Turn it down a little bit. What is the name of the music played during Final Jeopardy? Also multiple choice, but same rules apply. What is the name of the music played during Final Jeopardy? And of course, the show Jeopardy. Do you have Jeopardy in Canada?
I believe Alec Trebek.
He is Canadian.
He is Canadian.
Was Canadian.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, was Canadian.
Yeah, he's
Actually,
right there.
tonight was his last show that they aired. The last one he recorded.
I really don't know what they're gonna do with that show now because he is Jeopardy.
He is
Sure.
Jeopardy.
Although if they are looking for a Canadian to take the place.
There you go. Bloomer for the win. Email lines are open.
It over, but I forget who it was.
Okay. We'll start with Bloomer this time. Bloomer, do you
I'm
have a
still
guess?
writing my answer.
Okay.
It's not a real guess because I'm sure this can't be right.
Okay.
I wrote like how you would on Jeopardy. I forgot what is that. The
okay.
Jeopardy theme, and
Nice.
then I sounded it out. Do 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 do.
Nice. I like it. Anthony, what do you have, sir?
I'm going to ask for the multiple choice answers
Oh.
for 1 point. please.
Okay. All right. And Jeremy, do you have a guess?
I just thought it was a Jeopardy theme song. I don't know if Final Jeopardy is any different.
Okay. Well, you're all incorrect. Bloomer was the closest. Unfortunately, being the closest does not get you any points. So the multiple choice is it memory, think, eureka, or more brains?
Say that again.
Memory, think, Eureka, or more brains. Or, whoops, I did it again. Hint, it is not, oops, I did it again.
You don't remember Britney Spears recording for the Jeopardy
For the
theme?
Jeopardy
Are you
theme.
sure? I kind of remember that.
Pretty sure she may have been in the studio at the time.
Yeah, probably. She was doing the backup vocals.
Ah, that's what it was. All right, Jeremy, we're going to start with you now.
I'll say think.
Okay. Bloomer.
Well, now I want to change my answer, but I put C, Eureka, with an exclamation mark at the
Eureka.
end.
Okay. And Anthony.
I also put Eureka.
Okay. The correct answer is think. Jeremy
Oh,
got it
my
right.
goodness, you.
Typical Jeremy.
Yep. It's like he
Typical
knows how
Jeremy.
to deduct everything. You know, look at him. I think it's the headphones. It's his secret job of being a Secret Service agent.
Right. Bloomer, you don't know this, but we don't actually know what Jeremy does. He either is a spy or he works at Best Buy as the Geek Supply. We don't know. It's one of those two.
I'm going with ice cream truck guy. That's what
Ice
I'm
cream
going
truck,
with.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
It's
if you
gotta
look
know.
behind him, it looks like he seems to work for the Enterprise. So, I mean, janitor?
Oh,
Janitor? Yeah, I like that.
Someone's got to
Okay.
clean up the space dust, okay?
That's true.
There is a very good Geek and Sundry series called Space Janitors. I recommend it.
Is there? I
it's
always
funny.
watch the Magic the Gathering one with
Yeah.
Danon. I like theirs. Was it Spell Slingers or something?
Yeah.
Okay, science and technology. This is question 4. All right, guys, you gotta come on top here. You gotta beat Jeremy. Okay, there's no more playing around. J Dog is ahead. Okay,
he's ahead by 1 point.
this one's also multiple choice. Same rules apply. The U.S. atomic clock uses the radioactive frequency of what element to determine the official standard of time?
Say that again.
Okay, I'll say it slower for Anthony. The U.S. atomic clock uses the radioactive frequency of what element to determine the official standard of time?
Is it just the like the base element?
It is
Or
just
it-
the base element.
Sometimes you ask questions that I don't know the answer to, and I have the wrong answer that I wrote down, and then I cross it off because I'm like, you're all gonna just think I'm an idiot.
I don't know. I don't know this one.
Oh man, this is.
I have
so
a guess, but I
stupid.
don't even know if it's an element or not.
Do you at least all have guesses?
This is still dumb. 1 second.
Okay, no,
I'm
you're
there.
good.
No, I got it.
Okay.
It's the wrong answer, but I got it.
Okay. Well, let's start with the wrong answer. Bloomer, what do you have for our wrong answer?
What is Mercury?
Okay. Okay. And we'll skip over to Jeremy real quick. Anthony looks confused, so we'll go to Jeremy.
I'm gonna guess uranium.
Okay. And Anthony, the
Is
dumbfounded look on your
radon-
face.
Is radon an element?
Radon.
Radon?
Wow, that is one of the names of the kids on my bus, actually. Radon.
Listen, that's
Actually-
a cool
actually,
name
it's
to
not.
give your kid.
But that'd be really cool if it was.
I was gonna say, no one messes with radon.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
Dude, it's Radon. He's coming
That's
down
like
the hall.
naming your
Look
kid
out.
assuming
Kratos.
that's
You
not
know?
a-
Right? Yeah. Oh, that's what I almost named one of the guinea pigs. Kratos. Okay, you're all incorrect. So let's get the multiple choice going. Is it hydrogen? Is it aluminum? Is it uranium, perhaps? Or is it, I hope I'm saying this right, cesium? C-E-S-I-U-M. Hydrogen, aluminum, uranium, or cesium?
This didn't get any easier for me.
It
This is the
didn't.
problem.
It should not have. You were closer with radon. All right. We'll start with Anthony. What guess do you have, sir?
My guess.
Your
is
guess.
uranium.
Your guess is uranium. Okay. Bloomer.
I went ahead. I said what is aluminum, or as my British friends,
Okay.
aluminium.
Aluminium. Okay.
Aluminium. 'Cause
Nice.
that sounds official, right?
Jeremy, was that your original guess?
Yeah, I just want to be clear that
Oh wait, that was. Oh yeah.
I was that it was told it was not uranium, and you still guessed.
And he still guessed it. I was gonna let him. I was gonna let him guess it. I wasn't gonna say anything.
That's fine.
Would you like to change your answer, Anthony?
No.
Because we've already established that uranium is incorrect.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that.
It was one of the multiple choice options,
Okay,
but it was not correct. So now you've got 3 to choose from.
All right, so it's this. I'll choose the cesium one then.
Jeremy, what's your guess?
Cesium.
Okay. Cesium is correct.
I feel like Anthony deserves half points for that one. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe you split some.
Maybe
of
I
those
should
points with
take.
your favorite
I think I should
Canadian.
take a point away from him. Just
Look. I'm not. This show is not about you guys mocking me. Look, let's get that straight. I did not
Yeah, it
create this
is.
show for everyone to mock the host. All right. Well, what's
The
our-
one and only time Bloomer was ever invited to the show. Everyone.
all right.
Welcome and
This
stay.
one. This one's a little different rules. This one's somewhat easy. You should all know this, okay? But we're gonna go with the hand raising, and whoever raises their hand to answer it first, this one is worth 3 points. Okay, so get your hands ready. Go ahead and put them up so I can see them right quick, so I can see.
Oh,
Do we
Okay,
start
there we
with it
go.
on the table?
But yeah, that's fine. Slap whoever's behind you. All right, this category is sci-fi and fantasy. And God help who does not get this answer correct. What is Indiana Jones a doctor of? Oh, Jeremy.
Archaeology.
Correct.
I hope you at
I
least.
actually knew that.
I
one.
hope you both knew that one at least.
Okay.
that was thugonomics. Is it not thugonomics?
It is not thugonomics.
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Real talk. I found out my wife had never watched Indiana Jones about 3 months ago now, 2-3 months ago, and I made
So
her watch
good.
it. I actually that night was like, well, guess what our plans are? And she's like, well, no, I'm busy. I was like, well, guess what our plans are? So
I'm
yeah, we
glad
just
they're
watched
making
it
a
3
new
months
one
ago.
just so they don't end on the Crystal Skull one.
Mm.
I like that.
That was
Okay.
my favorite one. Was
This
that
one, this one is comics and video games. We're gonna allow Bloomer to answer this one first, and if he does answer it correctly, we're gonna give him 5 points.
Wow.
'Cause
that
why
is
not?
So much pressure.
Okay.
Oh man.
Just make it a
Please
rule
let it
for-
be.
If not,
Let the answer be Super Mario. Let the answer be Super Mario.
Yes.
Here we go.
what 1982 home video game flop led to the closing of one lucrative Atari?
Sorry, can I get you to repeat that?
Yes, you
question?
can.
How
What?
much time do we give them before we guess?
Let's give him 10 seconds.
Oh God, I'm not gonna get this. Go ahead.
Can I guess?
Can I guess?
What? And let me read the question
Well,
again.
Let me guess. I'm gonna.
Let
get
me
it
read the
wrong.
question again.
Let's
you
provide
did
the
get
context for
one
people.
repeat. Okay. What 1982 home video game flop led the closing of the once lucrative Atari?
And you know, I know this isn't the right answer because I don't know the right answer. I'm an 87 baby. I'm still
Okay.
saying it. Double Dare. Final answer.
Double Dare.
You guys remember that game, the trivia one for the
Yeah, I remember.
original Nintendo? Yeah, great game. Wrong
That is
system,
that is
great game.
incorrect. It is not Double Dare. I'm gonna let. Oh, we both have hands. Let's go with Anthony. What you got?
And this one's for 20 points.
Sure, why not?
I believe it's the ET game, right?
Yeah.
It is ET. Correct.
Oh, I did hear.
Also
that.
known as
Terrible, that
the
game is.
extraterrestrial. If you didn't know that. All right. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
So I'm ahead with 20 points.
You're ahead with $500,000. Yeah. This is science and technology. Which item is most likely to contain holy? Okay, hang on. No, we're going to skip this one. I have no idea what this word is. This word
Just
is
sound it
longer
out.
than any other word I've ever seen.
Sound it out.
Here, write this down. I want to just give you letters. Okay, write this down. CHOLECALCIFEROL.
Okay, I ran out of room.
Please-
On
I
the
know
paper.
the answer
I could
to
not-
whatever the question is, I think.
I could not be the Jeopardy host.
Cholecalciferol.
Yeah, that's
What's the,
exactly what I was going
I'm
to
what's
say.
the
I'm not
question?
applying for Jeopardy host. That's for sure. Would you like the multiple choice answers?
No, just what's the question?
What item is most likely to contain that?
Okay.
That's the question.
And
Yeah.
what category?
This is science and technology. This is Anthony's fridge. This is this is the category.
Yeah, I'll have to have the multiple choice.
I'll do multiple choice as well.
Everybody doing multiple choice?
Yeah, unless the answer is the meatloaf, I'm probably not right. So
You're close.
Is it Meatloaf the singer?
It is not Meatloaf the singer.
Okay.
All right,
You
your
would do
multiple
anything
choice.
for love. Okay.
Is it a hard drive? Is it a printed T-shirt? Is it a cement block? Or is it milk from Tim Hortons?
Cement block, milk, hard drive. What else?
Printed T-shirt. Hard drive, printed T-shirt, cement block, or milk. Jeremy's smiling. It's like he knows.
Question isn't really fair. but-
It's not fair, according to Jeremy,
Why is it not fair?
because he knows it. You don't.
This is
because he's
this is my
smarter
life.
than us, that's why.
This is my life.
All right. Well, let's see if Anthony can get it right. What you got?
I'm gonna go with a dark horse.
Okay.
Milk.
Okay. Bloomer.
I thought milk has one thing in it, milk.
That's true. It does
But
have
a
milk in
hard
it.
drive has many things, so it could be in there.
Okay. And Jeremy, who probably has the correct answer. What's the correct answer, Jeremy?
Oh, that's
This-
why Jeremy knows it.
It is
That's
milk.
why-
Because he's a dairy farmer. We figured it out. We now know what Jeremy does for a living. He's a dairy farmer.
It is. That is a form of vitamin D.
Ah.
Well, technically, an HDD could be
Vitamin H.
vitamin
So
vitamin
so
HDD.
we all get points. is
We
my
all get points. Yep.
understanding,
Everybody just got $10 million. Okay.
right? Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or in Bloomer's
Finally,
case,
that mortgage is taken care
yeah.
of.
Or in Bloomer's case, was it 10 billion bits? That's what you get.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You'll have to wait till the
So-
15th of next
So
month to
fun
receive
fact: the
it.
reason why Jeremy knows that answer is because his family are dairy farmers, right? Or they own a farm or something like that.
My grandfather, was a dairy farmer, but that's not why I know the answer. I mean,
No, I was gonna say I worked on
Late
dairy
nights
farms
with
growing up.
Grandpa
I never
and his
knew
stories.
that.
You never know.
See,
Okay.
do I get more points because I'm lactose intolerant? Does that do I get more?
Oh, I have to wipe all
I-
your points away
I
because of that. Hang on.
I was gonna say I think you actually get more points, but then you have to spend the whole night in the bathroom getting rid of
Oh,
them.
That's it.
see, it's worth it.
All right, we have another Harrison Ford question. I don't know how big Harrison Ford fans that you are, but it better be a big one because this has no multiple choice. You just got to know.
I
Okay.
think Jeremy hates Harrison Ford. Everything that Harrison Ford's been in, he hates.
Before he was Han Solo, before he was Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford worked as a carpenter. His screen career took off after he built cabinets for which director?
Who's the one who has the dogs?
it's
Helping.
I know-
dogs outside my.
I say I know Bloomer has
Oh.
a dog, right?
Yeah, she's not a barker, unless of course my planetarium gets delivered.
Oh,
Oh, there it is.
There
it
you
there?
go.
Oh,
Is
that
it
what's
there
going
yet?
on?
It's not. It's not.
all right. So who did he build cabinets for? What director did Harrison Ford build cabinets for? It's crazy.
Who's going first?
Who?
I think I know.
Oh gosh, Jeremy.
All right,
thinks
let's
he knows.
hear
All right.
what Jeremy said.
Yeah, let's hear
Write it down
Jeremy's.
really
He
quick.
thinks he knows answer. Go ahead.
Steven Spielberg.
Okay, Bloomer. What is your guess?
Who is Stevie Spielberg?
Oh, all right.
Come on, Bloomer.
And Anthony. What is your
I'm gonna
guess?
go with George Lucas. Why not?
Okay. The correct answer, and I'll tell you what, the one who gets there, somebody has the correct answer. Either two of you or one of you have the correct answer. Will instantly become a three-way tie, and the next question will be the tiebreaker. The correct answer is George Lucas.
I knew it. I knew it. That's why I took my
Congratulations.
paper and I crumpled it up. I could tell Acid made it seem way too much like one of us got it, not two of us. Jeremy, we choked. We choked, bud.
It seemed too easy of an answer, but I went with it.
I
Well,
was thinking it was
Paid off.
on the set of American Graffiti, here, but yeah.
It was real upsetting. I had no clue where it was in or anything. But I was like, those were the two directors that I was like, it's got to be one or the other, right? I took my shot in the dark and
all right, I'm going to make this
Something like
next
someone.
one, or this last one, actually, a collective effort. Because there's a lot of them. So, as a collective effort, write them all down, or if you can, or think them all up if you don't have pen and paper. And then whoever has the most of these in the collect, because I want you to get all of these, because you should know between the three of you. It will be the winner who gets the most of these. All right, so I hope you're all Harry Potter fans, because the next question
huge. Here we go.
is about Harry Potter. Name Harry Potter's professors at Hogwarts. All of them. Go.
I know 0.
I'll give you. Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you.
Just think. Yeah, write them down. Write them down. I'll give you a minute or two. Go ahead, write them down.
Dr.
You got time.
Strange.
Professor X.
And I'm blanking.
Uh-oh.
And there's bonus points if you can tell me what they teach.
Oh yikes! Okay. Now I have to write more stuff.
Oh. Uh-oh. Bloomer may
The one with the glasses, right? He wears glasses.
I think
Yeah,
he uses
and-
a lightsaber to battle. or
Yeah, something like that.
You're not my father.
he has a wand.
He's looking for beasts. He wants to know where the beasts are. And
Yeah.
he wants to know where they go.
Yeah. These are fantastic. They're fantastic pieces.
Okay, and they go in a briefcase. There's a little tree guy, right? He's cute.
Is
Oh.
this movie or book?
This is book. This is straight up, yeah. Every professor.
Of course.
I'm shocked they were able to fit it on this tiny card, but they did. As Skyrim music plays epically in the background.
I just want to thank you for choosing a topic that I don't know a single
You know
answer.
what? That's what I'm here for, Anthony. You could have gotten Daniel Radcliffe's signature behind you, but no, you went with Patrick Stewart instead.
So Linda's brother bought her a Harry Potter wand
Nice.
for Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. Does it work?
You know how big of a Harry Potter fan Linda is?
No.
She's not.
Oh, nice.
She's not. So she's like, oh, thanks.
It's like, what do I do with this? Well, if you don't want it, I know a 12-year-old that would love to have it.
She asked me what house she should be, and I said Slytherin easily.
Yeah.
Linda?
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely Slytherin.
Surprised you know what that is.
It's all an act. Her sweetness is all an act. It's a way to fool you all.
Okay. 10 more seconds. Get as many as you can.
I think I probably have enough.
Okay.
I don't have to worry.
Well,
Yeah,
let's.
I don't have.
Okay, we're going to go on the honor system here because I'm going to read through these and just tell me if you got them or not. Anthony got 0. We know that.
I got Slythe.
Slythe. Yeah, that's not it.
Slythe, that's a close one, yeah.
Yeah, I just got 6. I'm sure.
Okay, I'll start from the top. Professor Binns. Oh, everybody looks confused there.
Nope,
Bloomer
didn't get
especially.
Ben's. Did not get Ben's.
History of Magic. Was,
Yep, the ghost,
He's
the
the
only
ghost,
ghost
yeah.
teacher. Smart.
Dumbledore, of course.
He's not really his professor.
He is
Yeah,
Professor
he
Dumbledore.
was. He was.
He never
yeah,
teaches
okay,
him
that's
well.
fair.
I mean,
Well, sixth book, kind of.
not a class. I mean,
Yeah,
not-
no,
yeah.
extracurricular with Harry. I'll accept it. I didn't write it down, but I'll accept it.
You'll accept it. Ferenz. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, friends.
Ferenz. Professor Flitwick.
Yeah. I had-
Professor Grubbly Plank.
Mm.
Oh, I ain't put Grubbly. Yeah.
Professor Hagrid.
Yeah.
Professor Hooch.
The big guy.
Yeah, big guy. Yeah, hey, Anthony knows. Give Anthony a point. Big guy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Professor Hooch for flying. Professor Lockhart.
Oh yeah.
Professor Lupin. Professor McGonagall. Professor Moody.
Ooh.
Bad Eye Moody specifically.
Yeah. Professor Quirrell.
Not really, but
Quirrell? However you say that.
Well, actually, I didn't put that right.
Professor Slughorn. Professor Snape.
That's him.
Yeah, that's the, yeah. Anthony's like, I knew that one. Give me all the
Yeah,
points
yeah.
for that one. Professor Sprout. Professor Trelawney. And the last one, Professor Umbridge.
Okay, so I got 9,
Okay, well that's pretty good. You win.
and I put instead of Umbridge, I put. I don't know if you can see it, but I said Pink Lady because I couldn't remember her
Pink
name
Lady,
from, like,
that'll
the
will.
thing.
I'll
I
take
was
it.
Like the annoying Pink Lady that's super evil.
The winner is Bloomer for the win with a
Nice.
prize, a brand new Ferrari. Congratulations, Bloomer. You finally
Actually,
get your
I
Ferrari.
just got a new Ferrari. Can I like trade it in?
I will
for-
donate it to charity. We'll give it.
Okay, thank you. That I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
we'll
In
give
my
it
name, if
to
you don't
Geek
mind.
Gaming or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Or give it to Calmo. He's the only one that showed up in chat tonight.
There you
So
go.
we'll give it to Calmo. Yeah. Hey, Calmo.
Congratulations, Calmo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to Bloomer for the win. You have won trivia. You've won the respect of Jeremy
Millions of people.
and Jeremy alone. But yeah, so Bloomer, why don't you go ahead and plug whatever you want to plug real quick?
Oh gosh, I'm just here for the fun. But I guess if you are watching this right now and thinking, how do I find more of this beard? Twitch.tv/Bloomer for the win. I make you spell the whole thing out. That's the number one place you can find me, typically Monday through Friday, about 10:30, 11 a.m. Eastern till about 4:35 p.m. You can also find me on Instagram, same thing, and Twitter, Bloomer for the win, just the number 4 instead of FOR, because there's a letter limit.
All right.
Thanks,
Excellent. Well,
Twitter.
there you go. Definitely check that out. I never know how to end this show, but I'm Anthony Denar, Jeremy Shepard, Acid Train, Bloomer for the win from Canada, right? Another country above the United States,
North of the wall.
north of the wall. Exactly. Right. Exactly. All right. That's the show. See you next time, everybody.
And freeze frame?
I'll bring in the Waffle House food truck. How about that?
That's not a freeze frame. Now we're all awkward.
Hey.
Yay. Oh, it's Drunk Scorpion. Okay.